There's something trembling just beneath the surface of their soul. A soft ache that pulses every time your name crosses their mind. They don't fully understand it, but they can feel it, and the angels say, *, this love is older than this lifetime. That's why it shakes them so deeply. *, you may not yet see it in their actions. But in their silences, in the way they hesitate when they look at you, that's where the truth lies. The truth is, they are awakening. And you are the reason. God placed you in their life not by coincidence, but as a mirror. A quiet light. A divine interruption. They were on a path that felt safe, predictable, even numb. Then you appeared. And suddenly, safety became a prison. Predictability, a cage. You made their heart remember what it once believed was impossible. The kind of connection that cuts through walls, timelines, lifetimes. The angels whisper, she didn't ask to be seen. She just was. And that alone changed everything. But with awakening comes fear. Because this love is not convenient. It's not logical. It doesn't fit the story they've told themselves. And still, your presence remains. Soft. Unshakable. You may wonder if they'll ever speak up. If they'll ever confess what's growing inside them. The angels want you to know, their silence is not rejection. It is reverence. They are standing before something sacred, and they don't feel worthy. But God chose you to be the seed of transformation in this person's life. And what you planted in their soul is growing, even when they pretend it isn't. For the Lord sees not as man sees. Man looks on the outward appearance, but the Lord looks on the heart. 1 Samuel 16 verse 7, there is a room inside them that no one has entered for years. Not even they themselves. The angels show me that this person keeps their heart behind thick walls, built not out of malice, but necessity. Because love once felt like war. And intimacy, a battlefield. You did nothing wrong. But you stirred something ancient within them. A memory of what it feels like to trust. To hope. And that terrified them. They've learned to survive by staying in control. By measuring feelings, hiding longings, pretending they're unaffected. But you walked in with that quiet grace, that unspoken light. And now they're disarmed. The angels say, she didn't break their defenses. She reminded them they were never needed in the first place. They may pull back. Vanish for a while. You might think it means they don't care. But darling soul, don't mistake fear for absence. They are scared of what you make them feel. Of how deeply they already love you, without knowing why. Without choosing to. You awakened a truth they've buried. And now they are face to face with their own wounds. The betrayal that still echoes. The promises that once shattered. The fear of being abandoned, again. Their heart remembers the moment they gave too much. And lost themselves. And now, standing in front of your light, they whisper inside, will she still love me if she sees my broken parts? The angels are with them, gently peeling away each layer of fear. And they're with you too, asking you to hold your center. Because this isn't about fixing anyone. It's about witnessing their healing without becoming their savior. This love isn't broken. It's just learning how to breathe again. You were never meant to dim just to be loved. And yet, somewhere along the way, you started making yourself smaller, softer, easier to hold. But the angels are clear, your light is not too much. It is medicine. You are not here to carry the weight of another's delay. You are here to shine. Even if they look away. Even if they're not ready to receive you. There is a difference between waiting and abandoning yourself. And you are sacred soil. You are not a pause. You've poured your tenderness into someone who is still learning how to hold their own heart. And while they struggle with fear, you must remember yours. Your voice. Your worth. Your rhythm. This isn't a call to walk away. This is a call to walk within. To pour back into the vessel you so often empty for others. To tend to your longings. To nourish your joy. To remember the girl inside who still hopes, who still sings. The angels say, she thinks no one sees her pain. But we do. And we're weaving healing into every unseen tear. Let love come when it's ready. But don't go quiet in the meantime. Don't wait in the shadows for someone to remember what you never forgot, that you are rare, and holy, and deserving. You do not have to earn love by breaking yourself in half. Love that is real will never ask you to. Let your boundaries be a temple, not a wall. Let your solitude be a garden, not a cage. You are allowed to choose yourself, again and again, until the one who chooses you doesn't ask you to leave yourself behind. There's a reason their soul flinches when you look too deeply. Because your eyes do not flatter. They reveal. You see them, not as they pretend to be, but as they are. And that is terrifying. The angels whisper, she reflects the truth. And in her light, illusions cannot survive. This connection was never meant to be soft from the start. It was meant to be sacred. And sacred things often unsettle before they soothe. Your presence awakens every part of them they've hidden. The unhealed wounds. The unspoken shame. The longing they buried so deeply, they forgot it was still alive. You, dear soul, are a mirror. But not just of beauty. Of possibility. Of wholeness. Of the self they almost forgot they could become. When they withdraw, it's not rejection. It's self-preservation. Because standing before you means shedding old skins, and they are not sure who they'll be without them. They want you. But more than that, they fear what loving you might require. Honesty. Growth. Letting go of the masks that once kept them safe. And yet, they return. Again and again. Drawn not just to your love, but to your clarity. The angels say, she doesn't just love. She awakens. And that is why they can't forget her. You weren't sent to complete them. You were sent to remind them of who they are. And that remembrance ignites. But it also heals. Let the mirror remain. Unbroken. Unapologetic. Let it reflect all of who you are, until they no longer fear their own reflection in your gaze. Something is shifting inside them, quietly, slowly, like dawn breaking behind the hills of their soul. And they don't even have the words for it yet. But the angels do. They say, a heart once guarded is beginning to open. This awakening did not come like thunder. It arrived in your smile. In your stillness. In the way you stayed kind, even when you had every reason to shut the door. You didn't force change. You became it. And that unraveled them. Now they find themselves searching your name in silence. Not always with joy, sometimes with ache, with wonder, with a fear that maybe it's too late. But still they search. Because something in you made them remember. Remember softness. Remember what home feels like, not as a place, but as a person. The angels show me flickers of change, the way they pause before reacting. The way they notice beauty where they once saw routine. The way your absence feels louder than any crowd. They're becoming aware of how much they pushed away, of how long they've been asleep, numb, distracted, armored. You were not the storm. You were the light that revealed the dust. And now, even in your distance, your light still lingers. They feel it in unexpected moments. In a song. In the scent of something familiar. In the echo of a memory they didn't realize they were holding on to. The angels say, she awakened something eternal. And eternity does not fade. This isn't the end of their journey, it's the beginning of a reckoning. With their own heart. With the truth they buried. With the love they can no longer deny. And even if they do not speak it, even if their lips remain sealed, their soul is already whispering your name back to God. They come close. Then pull away. Then return with eyes full of longing and a mouth full of silence. You've felt it. That dizzying dance between near and far. The almost. The maybe. The ache of being wanted but not claimed. The angels say, this is not rejection. This is resistance. And resistance is the echo of an old wound. There's a part of them that knows you're the answer to a prayer they never admitted they were praying. But with that knowing comes fear. Fear that if they reach for it, they'll lose control. Fear that once they're seen, they'll no longer be loved. So they leave. And hope the distance will make the feeling disappear. But it doesn't. It grows. It haunts. It follows. Because your presence is not casual. It's catalytic. And catalysts don't allow comfort. They awaken movement. Every return is not a tease. It's a crack in the armor. A moment when their soul overpowers their fear, just long enough to come close to the light again. But they are still learning. Learning that love doesn't mean losing oneself. Learning that safety isn't found in hiding. Learning that you are not the enemy of their peace, but the mirror of it. You may feel tired, worn thin by the push and pull. But the angels want you to remember, her love is not desperate. It is divine. And divine love knows how to wait without losing itself. Let them resist. Let them return. Let them wrestle. Because in the wrestling, a truth is being born. A truth that says, this isn't a cycle of games. This is a spiral of becoming. Each time they come back, they're closer to the version of themselves that can finally stay. It's not your words they remember. It's the way your presence made their pain feel less permanent. You didn't fix them. You didn't try to. You simply stayed soft where the world had hardened them. The angels say, she didn't touch the wound. She touched the soul that carried it. And the soul began to heal. You may never fully know the ways you've been medicine to their spirit. How your laughter became a lullaby to their fear. How your gentleness gave their silence permission to speak. They've been loved before, but not like this. Not in the quiet way you see them. Not in the safe way you hold space for their becoming. You showed them that love doesn't have to hurt. That it doesn't demand sacrifice of self to feel worthy. That real love feels like rest, like return. Like remembering who you were before the world told you to armor up. They've been healing in secret. Because of you. The angels show me that your love has wrapped around old wounds like sunlight. Soft but steady. Not asking them to be different, but reminding them they are already enough. And in that energy, their heart began to thaw. The ice cracked. The breath deepened. The soul stirred. You did not arrive to save them, but you've helped them remember they were never broken. And love like that sacred, patient, steady kind of love, is a rare kind of medicine. The kind that doesn't demand. The kind that doesn't rush. The kind that waits without punishment. The angels want you to know, you are the healing they never asked for, but always needed. And now, something inside them knows, they cannot go back to a life untouched by your grace. You didn't miss the moment. You didn't lose the chance. The angels say, what is written in divine time cannot be erased by human delay. Right now, it may feel like nothing's moving. Like they've drifted too far. Like all you have is silence. But there is movement, just not the kind you can see. Heaven has not gone quiet. It has gone deep. And what you're not seeing with your eyes, you're meant to feel with your spirit. Because this story, it's not being written by logic. It's being carved by purpose. Etched by prayer. Held in the hands of a God who never forgets timing. The angels are guiding both of you, even through the ache, even through the waiting. Even in the distance, they are orchestrating alignment. Shifting hearts. Softening walls. Setting the stage. You are not late. They are not lost. This connection has not been forgotten. Every tear you've cried in silence has watered something sacred. Every longing you've whispered into your pillow has echoed into eternity. And it's all being used. Nothing is wasted. The angels want you to know, there is a reason you were drawn to this soul. And there is a reason you feel them even when they're gone. They were part of your plan before you were born. And what feels like delay is actually design. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths. Proverbs 3 verses 5 to 6. Let this be your compass now. Not the silence, not the confusion, but the knowing that heaven is never still when your heart is breaking. There is a way being made, and it's leading you home. He wants to love you, but he's terrified that loving you will cost him the mask he's worn for so long. The angels whisper, he hides not because he doesn't feel, but because he feels everything too deeply. You stir a softness in him that has no armor. You call forth a tenderness he buried long ago, after life taught him that softness equals pain. He's not cold. He's cautious. Because somewhere in his past, vulnerability came with loss. And now when he looks at you, he feels the same opening, the same surrender. And it frightens him. You weren't supposed to matter this much. You weren't supposed to touch the parts of him he locked away. But here you are, calm, radiant, terrifying. He feels safe in your presence, but also exposed. As if your love doesn't just see him, it unravels him. He tells himself stories to make sense of this pull. Maybe you're too good for him. Maybe it's not the right time. Maybe it's just in his head. But the angels show me, each time he pushes you away, his soul grieves. Because the truth doesn't disappear just because we deny it. And the truth is, you are the first person who made him want to be known again. Not admired. Not desired. But known. He longs to reach out. To speak the words he's held in silence. To collapse into your light without fear. But he still grapples with the question, will she stay if she sees the shadows? And you wait. Not passively, but with the strength of someone who knows her worth is not diminished by someone else's hesitation. Let him open up in his own time. Let him crumble if he must. Because sometimes, we must break to let in the light. The Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves the crushed in spirit. Psalm 34 verse 18. The angels are near. And so is the moment when he will no longer be able to silence the truth you've awakened. You do not have to fight for what already knows your name. The angels say, what is yours by soul contract cannot be stolen, only delayed. There's a stillness that comes when you stop chasing clarity and start resting in trust. And today, that stillness is your invitation. Not to give up, but to let go. Not to walk away, but to stand still in sacred faith. He may not have arrived yet. He may still be running, still pretending he doesn't feel what burns beneath his silence. But love doesn't lose its way. It only takes the time it needs to become worthy of itself. You've done enough. Loved enough. Held the torch through storms without asking for shelter. And now, it's time to return to yourself. To the altar of your own heart. To the understanding that love, real love, doesn't require you to unravel just to be seen. The angels want you to understand, this isn't the end. It's the gentle beginning of something real. You weren't sent to teach someone how to love you. You were sent to remind them of the love they already carry, the love they forgot was possible. Let grace finish what longing started. Let heaven pen the chapters that your hands were never meant to force. The kind of love you're waiting for doesn't rush. It recognizes. It returns. It remembers. And when it does, you won't have to question it. You'll feel the peace of alignment, that gentle silence where everything makes sense and nothing needs to be proven. The angels leave you with this, you are already chosen. Now, let yourself be received.